comments. The comments. So sorry, Danny. You're gonna have to jump off of Facebook and go on YouTube or LinkedIn. But somebody on YouTube actually left me a comment today about, hey, do I need to know anatomy to do clinical research? And the answer is no. You don't need to do. You don't need to know anatomy. You're gonna know. You're gonna once you start working in this space. Of course, you're going to be given a study if you're a CRC or an assistant or a clinical research associate. Of course, you're going to be given a study. Of course, it's going to have a medical indication. Of course, then you're going to have to learn things pertaining to that condition. Like if it's atopic dermatitis, you're going to have to learn about that. I'm in that boat right now, too. Got a new study for my site. Going to have to learn about that. So here's what I put don't overthink your qualifications. There's always a place for you in clinical research. I see so many people trying to write themselves off for why they shouldn't be trying to find a job in this space, or why, well, I don't know enough anatomy, or I don't know enough physiology. Don't let the subject of clinical research scare you. Right? There's plenty of, like, if you're lacking in scientific background, guys, my GPA in college at University of Arizona was like a 2.4. Right? I barely graduated. And that's because I was, well, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to make excuses, but I was taking a bunch of hard classes early. But point is, I'm in research. I've been in research since then. No one has ever asked me about my GPA. And you know what? I probably know way more about science now than I did back then when I was studying the textbooks, about cell physiology and molecular biology. And my major was molecular and cellular biology. I probably know more about that now than I did then. And that's because of my involvement in clinical research. That's because of the actual studies I do. That's because of the doctors I talk to on a daily basis. That's because of the biotech companies that I research on a daily basis. That's but if I would have limited myself, oh no, I got a 2.3, I don't know enough about molecular biology or whatever to do research. If you're a coordinator, CRA, or anything else like other than a PI or a scientific writer. Like if you're a medical writer, you got to know that stuff. You got to be very well versed on whatever the protocol is going to be about. But if you are a coordinator, a CRA, I would say even an investigator, I mean, you're going to figure out what you're going to learn what you need to learn, and then you could dive deeper and start looking into that. So don't let that scare you. Vaishali says, how to start career in clinical research. I have a postgraduate diploma in clinical research and pharmacovigilance from India. I have a research background, PhD in chemistry, and work chemical research and nuclear medicine. Now I'm looking for transition in the clinical research. So I think in India, I think there's a huge private industry happening with the research. I would look at the research clinics near you. I know a lot of the focus in India. There's a lot of CROs you can apply to as well. All the major CROs have a presence there, and I think you need to look at those CROs to see who they're hiring for. It may have nothing to do with your background, your PhD in chemistry. You can work towards that, maybe as a medical writer. Maybe eventually you can get into regulatory affairs. I know a lot of people with PhDs that are in regulatory affairs. That's not going to happen right away. So a lot of times people in your situation, Vaishali, what they do is they apply to higher up positions like regulatory affairs when they have no experience in clinical research. And of course, they don't get the jobs. So what I recommend you do is start looking at the small, or not even small, just start looking at the CROs and sponsors in your space, perhaps to try to be a CRA or even a step lower than a CRA, perhaps an in house CRA or a remote site monitor or a clinical trial assistant. It almost doesn't matter. And I think that's the theme of this year. I think that's going to be the theme of next year. I think that's the theme of clinical research in general since I've started is it really doesn't matter what you do when you get started in research. It doesn't matter what your first job is. What matters is getting that experience and knowing what to do with it to advance your career. Now, the only way this could work against you is if you work at an academia and just get stuck there. Because academia sometimes could be a black hole for opportunities. Outside of academia, like if you're private industry, doesn't matter what you do. When I got started, I my first day on the job, I was told to install a cabinet. All right, this is what after like I just graduated from college, molecular and cellular biology. I was still trying to be a pre-med student at the time. I was trying to get into med school. First day on the job, they tell me go to Lowe's and build this cabinet. We need a new one for investigational product and go buy dry ice. And when you're done with those two things, take this urine sample to the hospital or take this urine sample from the hospital, bring it here so we can ship it. I mean, that was my role. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was enough to get me started. And I didn't do it intentionally. I did it because I was trying to get to med school, so I thought research would look good on my resume. But as it turns out, it doesn't matter what my first role would have been because when you're at the site level or when you're at the CRO level, especially at the smaller places, you tend to wear many hats. And the more hats you wear and the more things you do, the more skills you add and put on your resume, and the more you'll be able to, or the quicker you'll be able to level up. Now, Vishali says, do we need to take any course to enter the field? I am looking for a job in Canada. No course needed. The only course that is worth anything are the two courses I have. The CRA Academy, which gives you real world remote monitoring experience on your resume, and the CRC Academy, which again gives real world experience on your resume. That's it. But those internships occur after the course is complete. And that's our course. I don't know of any other courses that do similar things. I know other courses that say they do similar things, but they don't actually control the full end to end of the spectrum like we do. Rod Raphael with the robots. Thank you so much, Rod. Angelica Perez, which is better for starting in clinical research? Get first experience in a site or in a CRO? Whichever you can get first. And also depends on what you want to do in research. Right? If it's to be a CRA, I would say the CRO. If it's to be a site owner or a site director, then the site. If you don't know, I think the site. Because at the site level, you'll interact with CROs, so you'll get a sense of that world. Whereas at a CRO level, you might interact with sites, but it's more streamlined. And so you're less susceptible to adding a lot of skills quickly. I think at the site level, it's the quickest way to level up. And from there, it's very easy to get to. I call working at a research site like Grand Central Station in New York. You get there, you can go anywhere you want once you're there. Right? Do we need to take any course to enter the field? Oh, could you please share your course link? Yeah, I'll share the next one that's coming up because the CRA Academy, next class is not till February. So this is the CRC Academy. The crcacademy.com. Hopefully I wrote that right. That's the link. Rod said was an MA. So Rod Raphael, long time. Guru Nation supporter and site owner extraordinaire. He was a medical assistant at a HIV private practice in LA. One day we were told to start this study. See the patient and draw the blood and fax the source. That's amazing. And he no looking back ever since for Rod. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure Rod now can get, and at the site level, no college needed. And I'm sure, Rod, you've been doing this for like over 20 years, maybe even longer. I think while you may not necessarily be qualified, you're way more qualified to be a CRA than most. But uh, the fact that you don't have a degree might prevent you from getting a lot of CRA positions. But your experience, I think a lot of sponsors would make exceptions for you to be a CRA. And that's really, I think that speaks volumes to the kind of experience that you can get at the site level, which is very important. So hopefully that helps answer your question, Angelica. I think I'm leaning towards the site level, unless you know, unless you know for sure what it is in your career that you want to do specifically. Carla says, I would love to collaborate in the CRA course. Let me know. You know what we need to do, Carla? And yes, I'll have you be a guest presenter this quarter. We're just started week 2, so I'll have you like maybe in week 5. I can text you, Carla. Um, all right, I got lost. I was saying maybe even week 8 for Carla to come and do the like a phase 1 crash course for the students. That's what I'm thinking. Let's switch cameras. That camera is way too good for this computer. So thank you, Carla and Rod. Okay, we're gonna get you. Thank you so much, Rod. We're gonna get you and Carla to be guest lecturers, both for CRA and CRC Academy. We're gonna combine those bonus sessions for both classes. So I'm gonna talk to Monica right after this live stream. Thank you guys both very much. I have both of your phone numbers too. Randy the Ape says, great video on AQST. Randy, that company makes it easy. And Carla says, no degree. There you go. No degree, CRA. Look, that right there speaks volumes to the site level, like I said. Great video. Yeah. AQST, it makes it so easy when you have a company like that. I actually put more into it today. Today's Monday. Yeah, I put more into it today, and I put more into it last week. I'm just going to keep doing that until the year's over. Yusuf, hi Dan and everyone here. It's always great to watch and learn from you guys. Thank you so much. Really like your Game of Thrones profile picture. Angelica says your book is pretty friendly. I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend it. Thank you. We designed it to be, I guess, easy to understand. We didn't want another book out there that's just like the rest, some academic text that, basically they just copy what GCP says and put it in the book. You don't need that. You have that for free. Here's somebody on LinkedIn. Anita says, Vaishali, have you applied for clinical trial assistant or data reviewer type roles? Excellent suggestion by Anita. No, not yet. You need to do that. You have to do that, Vaishali. Everybody on LinkedIn, go follow Vaishali. Give her some advice. Karma is a good thing. It's going to come back to you, right? Whatever you put out there, whatever kind of energy you put out there, it's going to come back to you. If you applied and didn't hear anything back, that's normal. Keep doing it. I need you to do that 99 more times. The humbled Megan. We all need to message and tag a Questive until we get someone to come on your channel. I want Keith Kendall, but I'll take somebody else too. Please, please, please do. Everybody, maybe I'll post this on StockTwits. Everybody, please get Keith Kendall on the show. Please get Keith Kendall on the show. Briani says, I hold a bachelor's in occupational therapy with nearly 20 years of healthcare experience, looking to pivot my career to a project manager for a large CRO. Do you think it's realistic to come into the clinical research arena at this level? Project manager, associate, or assistant, whatever they call it, that every CRO calls it something else. The position right underneath the PM, because there is a learning curve in research. So there's a learning curve. So you got to learn. They're not going to put you PM right away, but if you work right underneath a PM, or really, and if you're willing to take a pay cut, really anything at the CRO, you'll be a PM within 12 months. The way things are going, they need people like you. So put yourself out there. Again, the only asterisk and caveat is, are you willing to take a pay cut? Because I don't know what occupational therapists make, or whatever you're currently doing. I don't know what you make, but a lot of people don't want to take that initial pay cut. Sometimes you got to take a little step back, take a giant leap forward. Thank you, Vishali. Everybody go connect with Vaishali right now on LinkedIn. That's her username. Help her out. She's trying to get into research. Take any position you can at CROs or at sites. Anything you can. Elizabeth says, hi, Dan. Is there a specific email to send to sponsors or samples you can share when requesting studies? The simplest thing is to not make it look like a template. So what you want to do, Elizabeth, is customize it for every study. 2 or 3 sentences. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I represent Dr. So-and-so. We are located in city XYZ. We see X number of patients for this indication at our site. If you need more studies, send me the CDA and feasibility survey. That's it. Don't do anything else. Don't put attachments. Those are going to go straight to spam. Don't do any of that. Just that sentence. You're going to get ignored 90% of the time. 2% of the time, someone's going to say, don't email us anymore, or I'm not the appropriate person. 3 to 5% of the time, they're going to reply with more information. And then another 5% of the time, they're going to say, we're not looking for more sites right now, but we'll keep your information for future consideration. That's the name of the game. It's a numbers game. There's studies everywhere right now, everywhere. I'm behind on following up on leads for my site, Yuma Clinical Trials. I got the latest leads list Friday. I think about 7 to 10 leads that I need to go through and see which ones I can follow up on for my site. Rod, don't attach CVs. They will get flagged by most email spam filters. Like, attachments are not really good for emails, especially when it's a email that the recipient doesn't recognize. So don't attach CVs. If you really want to attach a CV, like, copy and paste the CV into the body of the email, but I think that's too much. I think a link to your website and what I just described is the way to do it. Hopefully it works out, Elizabeth. If not, text me. My company helps sites do this. It's only $1,300 a month. That's month to month. And we help sites do this. We negotiate their budgets for them as well. We help with all kinds of other things. SOPs, source document creation, a shoulder to cry on, random questions you might have, but primarily it's getting you study leads. But it's still your job to follow up with those study leads. And we're also making a lot of developments, making a lot of inroads with some of the big pharma. DSCS, we're up to a lot. We are up to a lot. We're making good relationships, establishing good relationships with biotech CROs, big and small, and 2 big pharma. How are you doing on the Yuma clinical trial? Yuma clinical trials, 2 studies in startup mode, waiting on the SIV. Looks like early December, we're going to schedule the SIV. I'm waiting on another study. I'm going to knock on wood for this one. It's a COVID vaccine study. Can't say more. But I could give you, Rod, Rod and I share leads. So Rod, hit me up. I can give you the contact info. Thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you need help. We can have a conversation about our services. Anything else, guys? I got a new camera. So for the YouTube members, I have 2 new videos for the YouTube members, just exclusively for the YouTube members. One is going to be about our real estate endeavors in Plano, Texas. Our offer on our first house got rejected. We're buying investment property in Plano. We got rejected, but we made 3 new offers today on 3 different properties. Hopefully one of them goes through. It's a hot market out there. So I got that video coming up for the YouTube members today, and I got the unboxing of my new camera. My new camera for the videos. For all you guys and gals that want to learn how to create content and build your brand for your businesses, I'm going to show you what you need to create killer content. But that's just for the YouTube members. Best $10 a month you're ever going to spend. Plus, you get every month a monthly mastermind Zoom meetup. I've already made businesses with people on that YouTube members page. Aditya, who I've interviewed here multiple times, we're making a data management academy. All because he was a YouTube member and he brought up the idea like, hey, how do I do this? How do I build the brand? I said, look, we're developing Clinical Research University with Monica. Let's roll this into our platforms and we'll be partners on the Data Management Academy. Best $10 a month you're gonna spend, guys. I'm not saying I'm gonna do a business with you if you join, but I'm giving you the tools to succeed in there. The monthly mastermind, you can network with other like-minded people. And if you got a good idea, no, Rod, you're not. This is the YouTube member thing is a paid thing. It's $10 a month, only on YouTube. So you got to go to my YouTube channel and you got to click something like join. I think it says join. That's what you got to do. Do you think using softwares for Source is good, and which do you recommend? We use Microsoft Word. We make Source for our clients for free. If you're a client and you have a study, whether we got you the study or not, we'll make you the source document for free. It's part of our service. You're going to have to make it yourself. So there's no software for it. It's Microsoft Word, but my site uses Creo. So what I do is I get the Word document template from us. I'm a client of my own company. My site is a client. And then I'll create the Creo template for it, which is eSource. Creo is eSource. Monica's texting me. She doesn't know I'm live. She wants to do a Zoom. I am live. Give me 5 minutes to answer more questions. This Clinical Research University is taking off. Creo's good, Rud. I still have to figure out how to. I haven't created a source in there yet. I've kind of been procrastinating on that because I've had so many other things to do. And we have e-regulatory, and I want to see if the e-regulatory seems like it's just a folder where you can make subfolders and upload your documents. That's cool, but I want to see if I'm missing something. So I'm taking the Creo University, they call it. Anything else? Monica wants to do the Zoom. I think I'm going to go. Look, I would love it if you became a YouTube member. Click join. CRC Academy enrolling for November. DSCS site services taking on clients. We talk to 2 clients a day, 2 potential clients a day. People who want to start sites or already have sites and want more studies. Just text me 949-415-6256. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Catch you all later. Bye-bye. Reach out anytime. Bye-bye.